Welcome to video number 9 in the EnviroStore training series. In this video, we'll review the Resource Estimation Worksheet, or REW, which is something you'll have to update on at least an annual basis and should be checked periodically to see how your estimated hours for your various project tasks compare to the actual hours being charged. To get to this screen, we'll start from the Activities Report screen again and go back up to the drop-down box in the upper left corner. Find the Resource Estimation Worksheet tab and click on it. You'll be taken to the Resource Estimation Worksheet summary screen. The Resource Estimation Worksheet is used by project managers to estimate DTSC's hours needed to conduct or oversee site cleanup activities. The tool should be used to provide hours and cost estimates for the planning and negotiation of ongoing oversight agreements, grants, cooperative agreements, and annual cost estimation updates for the fiscal year. It can also be used by supervisors to evaluate and manage staff workload. The Resource Estimation Worksheet allows the project manager to assign hour estimates by resource type to all scheduled EnviroStore activities for a fiscal year. Plus, it includes a line item for general project management hours. In addition to developing resource estimate hours for a project, the Resource Estimation Worksheet is used to generate the annual cost estimate for the project. The tool includes fields for the most current cost rates for DTSC staff positions. These rates are not automatically populated because they vary and some project types accrue indirect costs separate from direct costs. The Resource Estimation Worksheet summary screen will list all REWs entered for the site and at least one future fiscal year. Any existing Resource Estimation Worksheets will be listed first. The number under the Revisions column refers to the number of times a Resource Estimation Worksheet for that particular fiscal year was saved as in progress. An X is placed under the Final column whenever a Resource Estimation Worksheet is saved as final. Typically, your supervisor will approve the final Resource Estimation Worksheet for the fiscal year, but they may delegate that authority to the project manager if they choose. Check with your supervisor before finalizing any Resource Estimation Worksheet. You can click on the Year Period hyperlink to open an existing Resource Estimation Worksheet, or click on the Here hyperlink to create a new Resource Estimation Worksheet for the future fiscal year of choice. For the purposes of this training video, we'll click on the existing fiscal year for our test project, and the system will display the Resource Estimation Worksheet for this fiscal year. If you have multiple site codes associated with your project, a drop-down box will appear below the project name and address in the upper left corner, and you can select the site code you want to work with. Since that doesn't apply to our test project, no drop-down box appears. You can then populate or change the worksheet with estimated hours and costs for that fiscal year for that particular site code. Note that if the Resource Estimation Worksheet has been finalized, you will not be able to make any changes to it. The Resource Estimation Worksheet lists all activities and project meetings scheduled to be started, completed, or worked on within the fiscal year selected. This includes activities that were scheduled but have not been completed from previous fiscal years. The following information is pulled from other areas of EnviroStore: the OU name and area if applicable, the site code. Again, this is a test project with no site code, and so one is not shown. Activity title, the document type, start date, which is the start date or draft due date depending on whether the activity is a regulatory activity or a deliverable activity, completed date. Completed dates in black are actual completion dates of the activity, or the date a meeting occurred. Dates displayed in gray indicate that the activity has not been completed, and the date displayed will either be the commitment date or the calculated completion date, whichever is the latest date. The data entry area is where you will enter the estimated number of hours for each classification required for each activity. Fields for travel and contract dollars have also been provided if necessary. The classifications along the top include project manager, supervisor, engineering, geology, toxicology, industrial hygienist, public participation specialist, Office of Legal Counsel, California Environmental Quality Act, Office of Environmental Justice and Tribal Affairs, Financial Assurance, APM, which stands for Administrative Project Manager, but is the same as the project analyst, OT, which is clerical support, and then your travel dollars and contract dollars. When filling out the estimated hours, remember that an activity may have several versions. It may also be useful to have the cost estimate that was part of the project agreement or order for estimating hours needed for each classification. After entering the estimated hours, enter the hourly rate for each classification. A link to the Contract Estimation Rates worksheet on the DTSC Intranet can be viewed by clicking the blue hyperlink that says View Contract Estimation Rates. Make sure you draw your rates from the correct column based on your project type. Once you've completed all your updates, the Resource Estimation Worksheet can be saved as In Progress or as Final. As mentioned, a Resource Estimation Worksheet should only be saved as Final after your supervisor has reviewed it. The Resource Estimation Worksheet will also keep tabs on the actual hours spent for each task and classification throughout the year. Project managers should review the current fiscal year Resource Estimation Worksheet often to track how your estimated versus actual hours compare. Since this is a test project, actual hours are not visible, but a real project will have them shown in blue font. This will help you see if tasks and classifications are going over the estimated hours and by how much. If discrepancies between estimated versus actual hours becomes too large, you may need to work with support staff to find out the reason for the overrun and/or provide the responsible party or proponent with an updated cost estimate. Thank you for watching video number 9 of the EnviroStore training series. If you need additional training on this aspect of EnviroStore, please go to the Site Mitigation and Restoration SMRP homepage on DTSC's SharePoint and click on the eStore Training and Tutorials quick link.